Morning everyone, June here. So often people say to me, when you're practicing at home, how long do you practice for? What do you do? How do you know what to do? Do you have a plan? All different questions like that. And it really depends. I find I'd rather practice for 15 minutes or 20 minutes a day, every day, than do, an hour and a half or a 2-hour practice just one day a week. So for me, in my body, it's better to just do it every day. It's something that I do usually in the mornings when I first wake up after drinking some water and letting my little dog out. If I don't hit my mat first thing in the morning, it makes it more difficult as the day goes on. And so often I just sit on my mat quietly and just notice how my body feels and listen to my body, and it's just intuitive where it wants to go, how it wants to move. So for instance, last week I overdid it a little bit. I can't even remember what I was doing. It might not have even been yoga, it might have been something else. But I've kind of strained some muscles here around my hip area. And so when I practiced this morning alone, I was just very aware of that, and I just let my body guide me, and I didn't really do any poses that had too much stretching going on in an external rotation of my hips. So sitting like this is enough of a stretch for me today. And so I don't have a plan for this practice I'm just about to do. I'm just going to show you how to practice intuitively, how to just listen to your body and allow it to go where it wants to go moment by moment. Now that seems a little scary sometimes, often we really want to have a plan. It can create a little bit of anxiety when we don't really know what's going on. But it's just my personal preference. This is how I like to practice. So first things first, get rid of the hair. And it doesn't matter what it looks like. We're not here to look good. We are here to just move our bodies. So let me see. Let's probably just do it like that. Okay. So I'll always begin seated, just so I can slow down and follow my breathing. This is when I have a chance to notice what's going on. My hips still bothering me a little bit. My knees feel good today. My face feels relaxed. My shoulders are relaxed today. And then my body just loves circular movement for some reason. I find this really relaxing, very centering, very balancing. Always feels good when I'm moving like this. Let your head be loose. Let your jaw be loose. Switch direction. Close your eyes if it's comfortable. I think that allows me to feel inside my body a little bit more. Oh, I could do this all day. I guess it's when you're a child and you love spinning around. It's a good feeling. Come to center. Inhale, reach the arms high. Palms together. Turn your palms out, lower your arms down. Palms up. Palms touch at the top. Palms turn out, lower arms down. And then this is how I like to lift my arms. Backs of the hands lead towards each other. Bend the elbows, draw your shoulders down and back. And then straighten the arms, press palms down. Backs of the hands towards each other. Touch, bend your elbows, lift the hands up, and then press the arms down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lean over to the side. I love side bends, lateral flexion. Inhale, lift, exhale. Inhale, lift, one more time to the other side. Now I am cueing because I'd like you to follow along and see how this feels in your body, but I'm moving intuitively. I don't really know what's coming next. Lift up, twist, hold, assess, breathe. Love twisting too, not something we often do in daily life. Inhale, reach. Oh, this feels nice in the morning, a nice long stretch. Just wiggle your fingers, move your wrists, move your arms. Feel spacious. Twist to the other side. And then I'm assessing in the twist here how my back feels. Thankfully, I've never had any back issues really, apart from low backache, just from poor posture. But I think yoga and Pilates have really kept my spine healthy, which is great. Come to center, unwind, and then dive forward. Fingertips to the floor, sway. The swaying movements really lubricate my joints, loosen me up. I'm just being very gentle. Walk my hands in, straighten out your legs, just give them a little bounce up and down. Give them a little massage. Point and flex your feet. Just loosening off the ankles. And then keep your toes pointing up and just shift your feet left to right. Cross your legs in the opposite way. Pick up your hands and just wiggle out your fingers. Circle your wrists one way and then the other. Shrug your shoulders up towards your ears and let them drop down. Shrug them up. When my shoulders feel tight, this feels really good. Crunching them up like this to create tension, and then the release of tension is greater than before. And then I always pad my knees because I want to take care of them. These little knee pads. And then just lubricating and moving my spine. Cat-cow. Inhale to draw your chest forward. Exhale to round and pull your belly up. Bend your elbows, lower your chest to the floor. Whatever feels good. Coming to a neutral spine and shaking your bum from side to side. A little bit more of cat-cow. Coming up onto my fingertips. Strengthening the hands. And then bring your big toes together. Bring your hips to your heels, reach your arms forward in child's pose. Wiggle a little bit from side to side just to settle in. Make sure both sides feel even. Sometimes when one side's tight, our body flops over to one side. Drag your hands back along the mat. And then come to sit up on your heels. Place the backs of your hands on the mat, so you're leaning back slightly, a little scoop in your belly, and then just draw your fingers into fists. This is just a little release of the wrists here. And then my body's calling for a little bit more movement just to warm up, so some half Sun Salutations. Tuck your toes, lift your knees, step into downward facing dog. And pedal out your feet just to get your legs moving. Gentle movements to begin. No force. Come high on your toes, round your spine, then come into a neutral spine in plank. Lift your hips, come back to dog. High on your toes, scoop your belly up, rounding your back. Settle into neutral plank. Lift your hips back. And then with kind of straight legs, this is called elephant. It's like a Frankenstein walk. Legs are rigid and straight as I walk them forward, walk them back, walk them forward. Come into a forward fold, drape over your thighs. Gently nod your head yes. Shake it no. Bring your hands onto your shins, lift halfway up, straight back, arms, legs, but just soften alternate knees. Take a breath in and on an exhale, fold deep again. Breathe fully. And then I know my spine is healthy, so I'm going to round up. Slide my hands up my legs, round my spine, all the way up to stand. Shrug shoulders up at the top and fiddle with the clothes pose. Come to the top of your mat for some half sun salutations just to warm up. Actually, you don't have to be at the top of your mat. That's for full sun salutations. Inhale, reach your arms high. Exhale, fold yourself deep over your legs. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up and reach your arms overhead. And then exhale, fold deep again. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Generous bend in the knees and round up, reach your arms overhead. And then exhale, hands to prayer. Back down by your sides, just pause and breathe. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold low. Inhale, lift halfway. Fold again. Come up to stand, reach arms overhead. Fold deep again. Half lift. Fold deep. Rise all the way up. Hands to prayer. Down by my sides. And then I feel a little bit of hula coming on. So separate feet, have them slightly turned out, bend your knees, and just loosen off your hips by circling your hips. Hula. I just like saying that, hula. And switch. You might hear the little pitter-patter of Pipster's feet in the back. He likes to watch. Oh, here he comes. Pipster. Inhale, reach arms high, and exhale, down. Widen your feet, come into a little sumo squat, and then just loosen your arms and begin swaying side to side. Allow your feet to pick up if they want to. There's no firm alignment here, it's just moving however your body leads you. But having an awareness of how your knees feel, how your hips feel, how your neck feels, your shoulders. And then turn, pick up blocks if you have them, it doesn't matter. Come into a high lunge, but with your hands on the blocks. And then shift your weight forward, and yes, your knee can come past your ankle when you're moving. Shift your hips and weight all the way back, straightening both legs, hips square to the front of the mat. Come forward into a lunge, knee shifts forward of ankle. Come back, straight legs. forward. Keep your hands on the blocks. Come back to downward facing dog. Pedal, pedal, pedal. Ooh, this feels good. Step the other foot forward. Shift your weight forward. Shift your weight back, straightening both legs or moving them towards straight. They don't have to go straight. Shift your weight forward into a lunge. Knee moves ahead of ankle because we're not holding, we're moving dynamically. Come back, straight legs. Shift your weight forward. Come back. One more time. Come back to dog. I like to walk my feet all the way forward, walk them back. Kind of stiff-legged. I don't know why I like that. I just like it. Keep your hands on the blocks. Inhale, reach your right leg high. Bend your knee, open your hip. Coming into scorpion, but make sure that the foot that's on the floor stays facing the top of the mat. Heel can be lifted or down. I prefer mine lifted. Close your hip, lower your foot. Lift the other leg up, same thing. Bend your knee, open your hip, the bottom foot isn't moving. You can look under your arm, wherever you like. Close your hip, lower your foot. Step one foot forward, lower your back knee down. And inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to the earth or blocks. Tuck your back toes, back to dog. Step the other foot forward. Lower your knee down. Reach your arms up, little back bend. And then lower your hands to the blocks or the floor. Tuck your back toes, lift your knee. Back to dog. I like to do a little jumping around. Have a little bit of energy. Jump your feet forward. Sit down. We're coming all the way down to the mat. Blocks, if you have them. I'm going to put my feet on them in a moment. Lower down, feet on the blocks. Coming into some bridging here. Oh, I love this with my feet on the blocks, but you don't have to do it with your feet on the blocks. So I'm just going to begin with a hinging bridge, just pressing my hips up, engaging glutes and hamstrings at the back of the legs. And then just tap my bum down, lift up, tap, lift up, tap, lift up, hold the lift, and just pulse, pulse, pulse. Breathing deeply and fully all the time. Press up, slap your bum, make sure those muscles are really working. Keep the lift, and then open and close. Knees. Just feeling a little bit of a different sensation around the glutes and the hammies. Bring your knees parallel, press up again, lower down. Breathe. Now an articulating bridge. Press your low back down, feel your tailbone lifting, and move along your spine, lifting all the way up towards your shoulders. You can fit a little apple between your chin and your chest, so no compression going on there. Keep your hips lifted. They are going to lower a little bit, but just keep them off the mat as you lower your shoulder blades down. Keep the hips lifted. Lower your ribs down. Lower your waist down, hips stay lifted. Lower your low back down, hips are still lifted. And then hips come down last. Ooh, like it. Press your low back down, lift your tailbone, lift your hips, lift your waist, lift your ribs, lift scapula or part of the scapula. And articulate down. Now in my own body, that doesn't feel very good on the lift up, so I'm going to hinge up and articulate down. That feels much better. Hinge up, articulate down. And then the blocks get shoved together, feet together, knees wide. press up into a bridge. You can really use more glutes here. Actually grab your glutes, sort of where your legs join your bum, and lower down. Press up, lower down, press up. This is a bit of strength going on here, really using my legs. I can even feel it in my inner thighs, those adductor muscles. Press up, pulse, pulse, pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, press up. Lower all the way down, ooh, ooh, ooh. Push the blocks out of the way. Put your right foot on the mat. Left shin comes over the top. Lift into a figure 4. Hand comes through the window, interlace. Ah, that feels good after those bridges. The other leg can be pointed up to the sky, and I'm just going to point and flex and bring some movement into my ankle. Now, I really have no idea what's coming next. It's just I felt I needed this stretch after doing those bridges. And then just switch side in space. Now, I know this might be moving a little bit quickly, but this is just basically what I would do by myself. Just a little short routine, feeling what my body wants in the moment, not giving it too much thought, not giving too much thought about sequencing, definitely thinking about alignment. Obviously, I don't want to hurt myself, but that's something that just comes naturally when you practice a lot. Good. Little happy baby, rock from side to side. My muscles get tight on one side of my back, my quadratus lumborum on the right, so this helps to knead those muscles out. My body's calling for a twist now. Knees together, arms out in a T, inhale, and then exhale, lower your knees to one side, pause, breathe, assess. The opposite arm reaching up on a diagonal. My fingertips are touching the mat or the floor behind me, but the rest of my arm isn't. I just don't have that flexibility in my shoulders. But both of my shoulder blades are down on the mat. Bring your arm back out into a T, knees back to center, inhale. And then exhale, lower your knees to the other side. And again, opposite arm reaching up on a diagonal, just to increase the sensation of the stretch. Arm comes back to a T, knees come in. Now I'm going to do a little rock and roll here on my spine. And then we'll come up, because I really feel like I need to do a little bit of spinal extension here, a little bit of back bending. So I'm still going to have my blocks. In a moment, I will use those. Put your hands on the mat, bring your legs behind you, come into a modified plank, so the shape you would have with your knees down. And then I'm just going to lower down to the mat, let my forehead touch. Bring my hands forward. I'm not a fan of regular cobra hand placement. I prefer here like goalposts. Press the tops of your feet into the mat, press your pubic bone down, and just lift up. Free your neck, nice long free neck. And lower down. Press up. Make sure you're using your legs here, otherwise your low back will take some strain. Lower down. Press up. Lower down. I'm just going to come into a little Sphinx. So elbows under shoulders, forearms in a number 11 shape. I like to keep them parallel because when I bring my hands together, my shoulders roll forward. Still using my legs, energy in the legs, pressing the tops of the feet down, lifting your knees, engaging your glute muscles. Long neck, pull your belly button up off the mat to lengthen your low back. Ooh, I love back bending. I love it so much that I'm going to try this. Now, I don't do this all the time, so I'm going to try it, and if I don't like it, I will stop. Hands on the blocks and just lifting up. Ooh, that might be a little bit too much. Yes, I think that might be a bit too much. Coming all the way down, pushing the blocks out of the way because I've decided that doesn't particularly work in my body. Now my low back isn't taking any strain here because I'm really using my glutes. My belly button is only my thighs I think are on the mat. I like it though. Lower down very, very, very slowly. Make a pillow with my hands for my forehead. Wiggle hips from side to side. Bend your knees, just windshield wiper your legs. Actually, that puts a little bit more tension into the back than I wanted to, so I'll lower them down and think, oh, that doesn't work today. But what I love to do after back bending is bend one leg, keep the entire leg in contact with the floor as you pull your elbow up, pull your knee up towards your elbow. Oh, I like this. It's a nice little hip opener, but it's also releasing the tension I just built up in my low back. I could sleep like this. Bring my foot back towards the other one and do the same on the other side. Now, even though I strained my hip last week doing something, this is a very passive pose. It's not much of a stretch, so it feels good. Bring your leg back to meet the other one. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, roll your shoulders back. Just push up to your knees. Now after back bending, my body is calling for rounding into a little ball. I've got my knees and feet together and I'm just going to round into a little ball, like a child's pose, but like a little egg. Like an egg. And then come up to all fours, tuck your toes, come into a little downward facing dog. Pedal feet, that just feels really nice after that little mini practice. And then I'm just going to come to sit on a block for some meditation. So now that I've loosened off my body, it's not going to be aching as much to just sit in meditation, and then I will meditate for 5 or 10 minutes. Depends on my day. So if you're practicing at home, if you're following along, or if you are inspired to do your own little sequence, just listening to your body, you can meditate at your heart's content. I'm going to finish this class now. But after I stop filming, I will meditate. This is just to give you an idea, just a snippet of something that you can be doing for yourself at home. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it, and I hope to see you soon. Take care. Pipster, what do you think of that then? Hey, what do you think of that? He's always happy when the filming's over, aren't you, Bubby Boo? My little nippity-noo. Come on then.